Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the 2 Plus podcast. In this video, I'm going to do another tactics video. What you can see on the screen right now, is the deployment from Alex and I's recent 1500 point battle between his high elves at the top there and my wood elves down the bottom. What is going to come out of this video and what we're going to look at here is how to avoid enemy charge arcs, particularly how to move out of them. Now, this is maybe one of the areas of Warhammer or the old world specifically that people don't necessarily love because it doesn't always represent what might happen on a battlefield. And it often leads to people disliking this sort of gameplay, particularly with armies like Wood Elves who have a lot of skirmishes. The maneuver, I guess you'll call it, that I'm going to show you in a bit, highlights that kind of gaminess of this game, but it also highlights how you can use maneuvering and moving to your advantage. And at the end of the day, this game generally, I think, is decided the result by who moves the best, who deploys the best, and who can find the combats that you want. If you get caught in combats that you don't want, then generally you lose. And those are the swing moments in the battles that tend to decide each battle. So this is the deployment, but in this next video, this is at the start of Alex's turn 2. And what we're going to focus on is this bottom left corner. So you can see I have cleared this sky cutter that moved up here. This eagle also has taken 2 wounds, and I've blocked the charge arc of his eagle into my guys in the woods. But the aggressor that we're going to see here is Alex's Griffin BSB. Here, you can see this charge arc template here, which I put down to check his charge arc in my turn 2. That was to get these scouts out of his charge arc. So I didn't want him to be able to charge in there. This is not a 360 degree skirmishing model, so it has to adhere to that close order angle. So I managed to get the Deepwood scouts there in the wood out of his charge arc, meaning he couldn't charge turn 2 on either of these 2 units. But as I had started to clear this flank, Alex was about to make a play to try and get control of that flank, and then hopefully push back across the board. So you can see here, this is after his turn 2. His eagle died in an eagle off, which was kind of fun, although mine was full wounds. His was down to 1, but he did have my flank. So lots of 4-ups there to roll, and I rolled them, he didn't. But again, what we're going to focus on is down here. So you may remember his Griffin was situated over here. He couldn't charge, so he's tried to set up a charge for his next turn on either of these 2 units. They're obviously very close, and both of these units probably get wiped. If not, definitely the scouts do. And the sisters, maybe their 4+ ward saves them, but really I don't want them in combat. Neither of those units are built to be in combat, particularly not against a 300+ point character with 3 static combat res, I believe. So what I was struck with here was trying to figure out a way to get both of these units out of that charge arc again. There were 2 options. Well, one main option for these scouts was to just move or march them out of the way. I couldn't get them out of the way with a normal 5-inch move, so I had to test to march. For these guys, thankfully they passed, and you'll see where they end up in a second. But the decision I had to make here was to do my first aim was to march these guys 16 inches out of his charge arc, out of his immediate range. So even if he does charge next turn, I can flee. He's not going to catch them. But to do that, I had to do a march test, or enemy-sided test, I think it's called in the book. And if I fail that, I then can't do. If I fail the test, they are counted as having marched. So you can't do any maneuvering after that. You can only, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the comments, because this was one of those moments that took a little while to decide what to do, but it kind of felt like a pivotal moment that if I got it wrong, it would be costly. So instead of testing to march here, I thought that I may be able to get them out of his charge arc by putting them into marching column. So that was the decision I went with in the end. As you can see there, it's a close call, but both units managed to get out. I've got another photo here that just shows how close it is, but you can see the Deepwood Scouts managed to march out of there. They forfeit their ability to shoot, which is fine. It's better than them dying, and it's wasting a turn of this guy. The Sisters just go into marching column. I probably should have moved them, but I didn't. I could have moved them directly backwards. Um, but I was too caught up in the moment that I thought I would just leave them there because, as you can see here, it's about a millimeter that they're in. We both decided that they weren't in the charge arc. It looks like that's not aligned properly, but he's just kind of above the mat at the moment because he's half on that forest. But you can see they're just getting out of the charge arc, so he's unable to charge next turn. So the gaminess around that is probably annoying for some people, but it's also the kind of decisions that can win you the game in the long run with certain high value units. It paid off for me here because the Griffin gives up, isn't going to play those shenanigans all game. He just bails the next turn and decides to go focus on something else. Both of these units survived to the end of the game, saving me about 250 points and allowing me to continue to cast Pillar with these guys and Pepper with these guys. So yeah, that is an aspect of the game that, as I said, a lot of people don't love, and particularly when Wood Elves do it, they hate it, and that's what gives Wood Elves their bad rep, I suppose, is, with their gamey shenanigans. But if you want to win games and that's your priority, say in a tournament or something, maneuvers like that really help. So I hope you found that useful, helpful. It might infuriate some people, but hey, that's how the game goes, I suppose. So thanks for watching, everyone. If you've got any advice on other maneuvers or if any feedback on these tactics videos, let us know in the comments. Obviously, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, because we've got a lot more of these coming. We really like putting them out. So reach out to us, talk to us, and yeah, we'll talk to you all another time. Thanks.